Have you ever wondered what it would be like to live in a place so remote that the nearest city is hours away? In today's video, we are going to explore the 10 most isolated cities in the United States, places where tranquility reigns and modern life seems a world away. These cities may seem challenging to many, but they hide a unique and fascinating lifestyle that if you're looking to escape the urban chaos, or just curious about what it would be like to live in total isolation, stick with me until the end of this video. I'll show you what day-to-day life is like in these places, and who knows, you might even discover the perfect destination for your next adventure, or even a dream place to disconnect from the world. Before we start, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments. Could you live in one of these cities? Or do you prefer the comfort of urban life? Let's go! City number 10, Kremlin. Montana. Kremlin is a small farming town located in the state of Montana, with a population of approximately 100 people. With its simple and disconnected lifestyle, Kremlin is among the most isolated places in the United States. This isolation comes not only from the small number of residents, but also from the lack of essential basic services, which makes life there quite challenging. Kremlin lacks services that most people consider fundamental. There are no supermarkets or gas stations in the town that if residents need to buy groceries or fill up their vehicles, they have to drive about 45 minutes to Big Sandy, the nearest town with these services. This constant commuting is a daily reality for those living in Kremlin, which requires planning and patience. Additionally, the limited access to job opportunities and a life almost entirely focused on farming make Kremlin an extremely peaceful place, but also quite isolated, both socially and economically. Life in Kremlin revolves around agriculture and livestock. The town does not offer many social events or interaction, which can be challenging for those used to the convenience and dynamism of urban areas. The lack of essential services also means that residents need to be self-sufficient and ready to travel long distances when necessary. Life moves at a slow pace, and the vast open landscapes are a constant reminder of isolation. For those seeking a quiet lifestyle away from the distractions of the modern world, Kremlin can be a paradise of peace and simplicity. However, this isolation can also be a barrier for those who need more accessibility and convenience in daily life. Did you know that the name Kremlin was inspired by the famous Russian fortress? Despite sharing the same name as one of Russia's most iconic sites, the town in Montana has no direct relation to the Kremlin in Moscow. This historical touch in the name adds a peculiar charm to this small American town. City number 9, St. Paul, Alaska. St. Paul is a small, remote town located on St. Paul Island in the heart of the Bering Sea, Alaska. With about 500 residents, this town is one of the most isolated in the United States, both geographically and emotionally. Due to harsh weather conditions and travel difficulties, the St. Paul Island is known for its unique wildlife, especially the large seal colonies. But life there is not for the faint of heart. The location of St. Paul, in the middle of the Bering Sea, makes it one of the most isolated places in the U.S. The only way to reach the town is by plane or boat, making access extremely difficult, especially in the winter when weather conditions are severe. Storms in the Bering Sea can be so intense that flights and boat trips are often canceled, temporarily stranding residents on the island. Additionally, the geographic isolation affects the availability of basic services and products. The residents of St. Paul depend on air or sea shipments for almost everything, from food to construction materials. When the weather prevents these supplies from arriving, the inhabitants must be very resilient and self-sufficient. Life in St. Paul is marked by a strong connection to nature and a sense of community among the few residents. The harsh weather conditions and isolation force residents to depend on each other. Fishing and hunting are essential for the subsistence of many families, and the island's biodiversity, especially the seal and seabird colonies, is an important part of local life. The town offers some amenities, but nothing compared to larger cities. Schools, a small hospital, and a few local shops meet the population's needs. But everything is done on a smaller scale and with fewer options than usual. Social activities are limited, but the island's natural beauty makes up for it. With its tranquility and stunning landscapes, St. Paul is famous for its seal colonies, especially the fur seals of the Bering Sea. Every year, thousands of seals come to the island to breed, making the region one of the largest seal sanctuaries in the world. This attracts scientists and biologists who study the local fauna, as well as adventurous tourists eager to witness the island's unique wildlife. City number 8. Point Lay, Alaska. Point Lay is a small native village in the far north of Alaska with approximately 270 inhabitants. What makes this village unique is the fact that it is only accessible by plane, making it extremely isolated and far from modern life. Point Lay is located on the Arctic Ocean, and the extreme climate, along with the isolation, makes this village one of the most remote in the United States. The geographic isolation of Point Lay is total. There are no roads or land connections to other cities, and any need for transportation must be done by plane. During the winter months, flying conditions can be severely limited by snowstorms and extreme cold. Additionally, the lack of basic infrastructure means job opportunities are extremely limited. Most of the population survives on fishing, hunting, and gathering, traditional subsistence methods of native culture. Life in Point Lay revolves around Inupiaq culture and its traditions. Whale, seal, and other marine animal hunting is crucial for the survival of residents. The community is very close-knit, and ancient traditions are passed down from generation to generation. Due to the isolation, there is a heavy reliance on natural resources around the village. Shops and services are minimal, and food and supplies must be flown in, increasing the cost of living. For many families, surviving in the Arctic cold requires a combination of self-sufficiency, community work, and deep connection with nature. Point Lay is located near one of the largest whale migration areas in the Arctic, making marine wildlife observation a key part of local culture. Bowhead whale hunting is a vital traditional practice with both cultural and subsistence significance. City number 7. Hewlett, Wyoming. Hewlett, Wyoming is an isolated town with a small population and minimal infrastructure. With a notable golf course and vast open landscapes, Hewlett offers a peaceful life, but far from any major urban center. For those who wish to completely disconnect from the hustle and bustle of modern life, Hewlett is the ideal place. The town of Hewlett is located many hours away from any major urban center, with the nearest city, Casper, 3 hours away. The lack of basic services means that residents must travel long distances to meet their needs. The surrounding landscape consists of vast expanses of open fields and mountains, further emphasizing the sense of isolation. Life in Hewlett is simple and quiet. Residents enjoy the peace and tranquility provided by the isolated location. The local golf course is one of the few attractions, offering a rare leisure opportunity in the region. However, living here requires significant self-sufficiency, as shops and services are many hours away. The community is small and welcoming, and interactions between residents are close-knit. Hewlett is the kind of place where everyone knows each other, and the pace of life is extremely slow, ideal for those seeking peace and silence. Despite its size and isolation, Hewlett is known for its golf course, which attracts tourists and players looking for a quiet game in a unique and remote setting. City number 6. Dalhart, Texas. Dalhart, Texas is an isolated town with a population of approximately 8,000 people, located in the far north of the state. Although it has a larger population than some of the other towns on the list, Dalhart still stands out for its geographic isolation, being many miles away from major urban centers and even basic services. The nearest town to Dalhart is Amarillo, about 80 miles, about 130 kilometers away. This means that even for basic needs, such as buying food or visiting larger stores, residents must drive long distances. The nearest Walmart is 40 miles from Dalhart, so any major purchase involves significant planning and commuting. Despite being a larger town compared to others on this list, Dalhart still feels isolated due to its distance from other towns. The town itself offers basic services, but residents often have to travel to access larger stores and specialized services. Life in Dalhart is calm, and many residents work in the agricultural sector. The community is close-knit, and the pace of life is slower, with a focus on local traditions and rural lifestyle. However, the geographic isolation means that those who live here must be prepared for frequent trips to other towns. Dalhart is known for being the pinto bean capital of the world, and it celebrates this agricultural crop annually with festivals and events that attract visitors from all over the state. City number 5. Mackinac Island, Michigan. Mackinac Island, located on Lake Huron in Michigan, is a unique and charming place. known for its ban on automobiles and its tranquil lifestyle. With a population of around 500 people, the island is only accessible by ferry in the summer and by snowmobile or plane in the winter, making it a remote and peaceful place. The absence of cars on Mackinac Island is one of the reasons why it feels so isolated. Residents and visitors get around on foot, by bicycle, or in horse-drawn carriages. During the winter, when the ferry is not in operation, the only way to get to or from the island is by snowmobile or plane, which can be a challenge during adverse weather conditions. Life on the island is quiet and focused on tourism during the warmer months. Residents and visitors enjoy the tranquility provided by the absence of motor vehicles and the picturesque landscapes. However, during the winter, the island becomes even more isolated, and life there requires self-sufficiency and preparation. The island offers a unique experience of life in a place where time seems to have stood still, and residents enjoy the peace and natural beauty of the region. Mackinac Island is famous for its fudge, and tourists from all over the country visit the island to taste the famous Mackinac Island fudge, which has been produced for over a century. City number 4, Stehekin. Washington. Stehekin is a small town in the state of Washington, known for its inaccessibility. With a reduced population, Stehekin is completely off the grid, with no cell service and no roads connecting the town to the rest of the state. The town is only accessible by ferry, seaplane, or on horseback. The Stehekin's isolation is total. There are no roads that connect the town to the rest of Washington, meaning that any travel outside the town must be done by boat or plane. The lack of cell service and other modern conveniences makes Stehekin a true refuge for those looking to disconnect from the outside world. Life in Stehekin is simple and nature-oriented. The residents live without many modern comforts, and the isolation encourages a strong sense of community. For those who enjoy outdoor activities like hiking and fishing, Stehekin is a paradise. The lifestyle is rustic and self-sufficient, with residents depending on each other and the natural resources around them. Peace and tranquility are abundant, but the lack of services can be a challenge for those accustomed to urban life. Stehekin is known for its untouched natural beauty and is a popular destination for hikers and adventurers looking to completely disconnect and connect with nature. City number 3, Haines, Alaska. Haines, Alaska is a town surrounded by stunning mountains and fjords. With a small population, Haines is accessible only by a road that passes through Canada or by ferry, making it one of the most isolated towns in Alaska. To reach Haines, residents and visitors must drive through the highway that cuts across Canada or take a ferry. This already makes the town somewhat inaccessible for those not prepared for the long journey. Additionally, Alaska's harsh weather conditions can make travel challenging during the winter. Life in Haines is deeply connected to nature. The residents enjoy the mountains, fjords, and wildlife around them. Fishing, ecotourism, and bear watching are popular activities. However, the town is isolated, and living in Haines means being prepared to face extreme weather conditions and the distance from major centers. The community is small and very close-knit, with a strong sense of support among residents. Winters are long and harsh, but the natural beauty surrounding Haines compensates for any challenges that the isolation may bring. Haines is famous for the annual migration of bald eagles, attracting bird watchers from all over the world. Every year, thousands of eagles gather in the area to hunt salmon in the Chilkat River. City number 2, Supai, Arizona. Supai, Arizona is one of the most remote and unique communities in the United States, located deep within the Grand Canyon. With a population of approximately 200 people, Supai is famous for being the only place in the U.S. where mail is delivered by mule. Supai is located within the Grand Canyon, and the only way to get there is on foot, horseback, or by helicopter. The town has no roads connecting it to the outside world, making the journey there a true adventure. The geographic isolation, along with the lack of vehicle access, makes Supai one of the most remote places in the country. Life in Supai is extremely simple, and residents rely heavily on the natural resources around them. Tourism is an important source of income, with many visitors coming to explore the beautiful waterfalls and landscapes of the Grand Canyon. However, isolation also means that life in Supai is more difficult, with limited basic services and transportation, mainly by mules or helicopters. The indigenous Havasupai community that lives there keeps its traditions and culture alive, making the place even more special and authentic. Besides being known for mule-delivered mail, Supai is famous for its impressive blue waterfalls, such as Havasu Falls, which attract adventurous tourists from all over the world. City number 1, Yellow Pine, Idaho. Yellow Pine, Idaho takes the top spot on this list as one of the most isolated and remote towns in the United States. With only 32 inhabitants, Yellow Pine is completely surrounded by wilderness and forests, accessible only by dirt roads, and with virtually no modern services. Yellow Pine is located in the middle of the Payette National Forest, making the town extremely difficult to access. There are no paved roads leading there, and the isolation is intensified by the lack of basic services such as electricity or phone lines. The town is literally a complete escape from modern civilization. Living in Yellow Pine means living in complete isolation. The small population is made up of people seeking a quiet life, far from the hustle and bustle of the outside world. There is no internet or cell service, and residents rely on generators for electricity and wells for water. That self-sufficiency is essential for living in Yellow Pine. Despite the isolation, the community hosts an annual music festival that attracts visitors from all over the region. For the rest of the year, Yellow Pine is a peaceful retreat for those who want to completely disconnect from modern life and reconnect with nature. Yellow Pine is known for its annual music festival and is one of the best destinations for fishing and outdoor activities. The festival attracts a surprising number of visitors, considering the town's extreme isolation. These are the most isolated cities in the United States. Each offers a unique and, for many, challenging lifestyle. For those seeking peace and a connection with nature, these places are true paradises. But isolation may not be for everyone. That if you could choose, where would you like to live? Let me know in the comments. And before you go, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with friends who love discovering unique and remote places. See you next time.